Hello, Mark.
Hello, Drew. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you? You well?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah. Really
Delightful.
good, though, yeah.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, do you want me to start with my week or should
Yeah, go on then.
Well, like we talked... What was that? Just giggling at me. Like we talked about earlier, and the listeners won't know this, but we're going to try and condense... All right, shut up. We're going to condense the early bit of the format. We're going to just talk about one thing each before we talk about maybe the main video essay, or in this case, the spaceship ranking, category 1A. But so I'm going to just talk about one thing. And my one thing is I've been reading a book, which is mind-blowing.
Reading, not
reading.
listening.
No, reading.
Okay, cool.
This is the fastest I've ever read. I haven't finished it.
Okay.
Caveat.
Yeah.
It's the fastest
Is
I've ever
it
read.
Billy Blue Hat?
No, I don't know what that is.
Roger Red Hat?
No, I don't know any of this.
There's this early reader stuff from when I was a child, so it's... Look it up, guys.
You're old.
Yeah.
Right. It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl. Have you heard of this book?
Dungeon Crawler... Carl, right.
Carl. You would really like this book, actually.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it too much, but the premise is, it's just a dude who lives in America called Carl, and there is an intergalactic federation, and they seed loads of planets, and then they eventually come over and say, we're going to take all the resources from your planet, and they give you notice, and I'm still not sure when they gave notice of this happening, but eventually they turn up and they steal all the resources from your planet. But there's like some caveat law that means they have to run some kind of Hunger Games style event on your planet. So, and if you survive it all, you become the king of your planet and you get to reclaim some of the resources and stuff.
Right.
So the idea is that what they've done is they've made a dungeon that goes all the way down to the center of the earth. And there's like 18 floors to this dungeon. And Carl is just a guy, and he gets caught up in this whole...
Anyone can enter this
everyone
thing?
Enters.
Everyone on the planet.
Literally
enters.
Everyone is...
Is it Earth then? Is it Earth?
Yes,
and these aliens have come into...
And it just happens, and they're like, this is just happening now, and you're in a TV show, and it's like all broadcast for the whole Federation.
It's broadcast for the Federation.
And like the whole point is like, you should do stupid kills in the dungeons so that you get like on the TV show. And then
are they
get more
fighting
points.
Humans against humans, or have they
There's like
seeded it with
goblins.
this?
There's like goblins, there's rats, there's all the things you'd expect from a dungeon in a dungeon crawling game. But the best bit, some of the fun bits are that it's written like a game, and it's so stupid because like they get achievements for like fucking everything. So it's like
fucking everything.
Well, there probably isn't an achievement for fucking everything. There's achievements for like you blew up a guy, and like you stabbed a person in the head, and you used your foot to kill a guy, like things like that. And the writer's done a really good job making all these achievements, and they sound ridiculous. And there's something about you get loot boxes and things and kills, and they explain a lot about how the game works because it's very gamified, but it's really interesting. Okay. It's really fun.
One of my first questions about this then. Mm-hmm. Does this Earth have goblins in it?
It does now.
No, but I mean in the sense that did Dungeons and Dragons exist as a game that people are playing, and that's their reference point?
So that's actually what they talk about. Is they actually seeded the Earth like 10 years ago, and they learn your culture so that when they build the dungeon,
it relates to your culture,
to how your culture, so you know what you're looking at. And stuff.
You know, in zombie films, you have zombie films where zombies exist as in popular culture, so people can go, that's a goddamn zombie. Mm-hmm. Or there's other ones where that as a concept hasn't come across, so the first time there are zombies,
do this whole thing of like, oh, what's that? Oh, that thing that's undead and walking towards you. It's probably a zombie.
But they don't know that because they haven't had them in their media.
But there's like, it's really good in terms of how fast, because some of these books you feel like they have to explain for everyone, right? But there's like, I think the first couple of chapters are just like, there's the tutorial guild. You got to go find the tutorial guild guy in their NPCs, and they talk about NPCs, and you got to go talk to the NPC in the safe room.
But who's the NPC? How is that created then?
Well, it explains all this. And actually, it's really funny because the book is like crazy and silly, but there's also like really, really dark moments. Yeah. Where like they pull the curtain back because it's all a game. So like you heal, and it's all like something's healing you, and there's all this tech. It's all tech, but it looks like magic, right? Yeah. But then like the NPCs aren't really NPCs, and like you get like a little bit of a pull behind the curtain. You're like, this is dark. Actually, this is really dark, and like it's horrible. But like you don't dwell on it for long enough to be like, oh my god.
It's not the whole purpose of the story to get you to feel like this is horrendous, and it's just I suppose it's humorous. It sounds like it's humorous.
So one of the early tropes, right? So it's funny and it's dark. So one of the early tropes is the guy, like how the whole situation winds up. He doesn't have any trousers on or any shoes when he enters the dungeon.
Because he enters without, okay.
And like, so he spends like forever, like for the whole book almost, it feels like. I haven't finished it, but he's just trying to find trousers and shoes. And he keeps killing things with his feet. But he keeps leveling up his feet killing.
Oh, God.
And then like the joke is that like the game wants him to use his feet because it looks ridiculous, right? This guy using his feet constantly. So it's like this joke thing. But then there's also some really dark stuff in there. So it's got a bit of both. I think it dwells well enough on it being dark, and it being humorous that like you don't have to think about it too hard when it gets really dark, because it does get really dark and you're like, oh my god. I know we're doing something silly and it's fun. It's totally worth a read. It's quite a big book. It's the fastest I've ever read a book. So I started it middle of this week, so probably about Wednesday.
Wow.
About 200 pages in, and it's Monday of the next week. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's good, and there's like 5 books in the series, maybe 6 books. Jess knows. It's quite popular at the moment. I'd recommend it for you. You do. Okay. I think you'd thoroughly enjoy it and find it very silly. But that's my media. I'd recommend that. One also thing, a very small thing I'd like to shout out. I bought, and this is going to be a very visual thing for you, Mark, but for no one else. I bought for myself, on the sponsorship of another podcast, shout out 3 Mugs and a Monster, these tabs for my wargaming books.
Oh, I see. So it's not the book that you bought, it's
the tabs. Yes, someone has very cleverly decided to like, because you know that's the worst bit of giant rulebook is
tabs like that at the top as well as the side. That's impressive.
It's good, isn't it? So I bought these. They're quite expensive. They're about £8 for the 2 books.
For both books.
Both books, and it's just you don't have to.
But it's purpose built for the book, so it's got
exactly where things are.
Yeah, wow,
which is really good. And initially they got my order wrong. But I messaged the guy, and actually within like...
Or did they give you the wrong book?
They gave me...
The tabs were a different book?
Yeah, different book. And, I mean, within like 10 minutes, the guy had already... he'd already emailed back, be like, sorry, I'll get that on the way. And then he also shipped me some what's called errata tabs. So if they amend the rule book, you get little tabs that you can put them in your rulebook saying this has been amended in like the online thing.
Right, so you have to then, it tells you to basically go online and look at the...
Yeah, go and look at the rules. So he sent those for free, which is really cool of him. They got some FAQ things as well. So that's rulebook tabs. The guy's really good. I think he's pretty independent.
Yeah.
He's just done a really good job, and I'd like to shout that out because it's one of those things...
What was his name again?
It was Rulebook Tabs at www.rulebooktabs.com. I want to shout out because
we're not sponsored by anybody.
We're not sponsored
at this point.
It was because another podcast I listened to, which is Three Mugs and a Monster.
Yeah, which
is all about Horus Heresy. And actually, I've played one of the guys at a tournament. They're like top of the like. If there was a league, they're top of the league guys. They're really good at. They like obsess over it. They're playing a tournament every weekend, whatever. And one of them said they recommended this. I looked at it. Yeah, it makes sense. I hate flicking through the book trying to find the index, and you got to find the index, and you got to.
Then you got to flick through to where you were.
These tabs are a great idea. Shout out people for doing good ideas, and it seems like just an independent dude. So, win. So yeah, that's kind of those are the two things I want to talk about.
Okay.
How about you, Mark? Have you got a thing you want to talk about?
Well, the main thing I talked a little bit about this at work today, which is I finished listening to Hitler by Ian. No, not himself. Not.
You just listen to Hitler.
Just been listening to some speeches, book entitled Hitler. It was a biography by Ian Kershaw.
I think at work you accidentally said autobiography.
Did I was just there like, I'm sure I didn't say that.
I don't think that's how that works. It's the kind of
thing I would say, but I didn't. I swear. It was a biography. It wasn't Mein Kampf. I think this was an audio book of basically it was originally 2 books. And I had the first book, which basically took Hitler from his early days to when he became the Reich Chancellor, and it ends roughly around there. So I knew the first part of the story.
It was the second half that you were
unclear on. It was the second half I was unclear on. And yeah, there was some surprises. That he lost in the end. And
That was the...
obviously,
was it a spoiler when he died?
It's a spoiler. Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. The Russians were basically at his back door. I still thought he had a chance. No. In all seriousness, I read the first half originally because I wanted to understand how somebody that wrong can get into power.
How it just happens.
Yeah, how it happens. And I thought by finishing the whole book that I'd have a full understanding and be able to go, okay, I get it now. I understand what kind of person. I don't think I still understand it. I still don't understand. He was quite a petty man. He was quite small-minded. He wasn't incredibly educated, or he was just a nasty guy that stood on
build a populist kind of.
Yeah, he built a populist thing, but I still don't truly understand. Maybe not that I'm going to do this because this is way out of my interest, but listen to some of his speeches or something like that, because it just sounded from the ones that were read in the book, just somebody ranting about, blaming basically the Jewish people for the ills of their world. And it's just like, I don't understand. I mean, again, there is reflections with modern society. I'm not going to go into that because that'll take this into too much of a political conversation. But there are parallels.
Yeah.
And
I get
it. And it's that whole thing of, you'd think that something so horrific as what happened in the 1930s to build up to the World War II could not ever happen. And I'm less sure now. That's the terrifying thing.
I think there's enough checks and balances still in our world that I don't think we'll go to a world war. But I mean, there's still some really weird stuff going on. I'll agree. But it's good to...
That's one thing I especially reading the first half when you see his rise to power. I don't necessarily see that it would necessarily be completely out of the question. I'm not saying it's as likely as in the 1930s, but I doubt there were people in Germany at that point that realised the direction this would end up in.
No, I kind of agree. I know what you mean. Like, I'm sure people are like, oh, it's a bit of rhetoric, you know what I mean? Rather than actually being serious. But yeah, no, it's good to inform oneself on history.
Yes.
I think people rarely remember history correctly or in depth enough.
Well, that is the worry, is that the things that are being said in current politics and stuff by different people, by politicians, by average citizens themselves, I don't think they understand how what they're saying is actually reflected across time. They probably picture that was something that happened then. We won't do that now. But at the same time saying horrific, horrible things about people in this world that deserve our compassion, not our hatred. Anyway,
no, I agree.
I have needed a palate cleanser since then, because it was heavy going.
I'm sure that was heavy going. I'm sure it's quite deep.
Yeah, even though, truthfully, I knew the outcome, I knew the thing, and I knew that society had healed itself. Going through the kind of numbers and the things that happen at certain times in his reign. So, just as a palate cleanser I am starting. I've chosen another audiobook, which is Inversions by Ian M. Banks, and it's one I've only ever read once before. So it's a culture novel, which I went through with you before.
No,
but
I guess it was
what I remember from it the first time round is that it's a very subtle culture book. I talked with culture is that they would send people into civilizations that hadn't quite developed yet.
Yeah.
And sort of like, not spies, but to help guide people, community lives. And I think the story is about a doctor who she's from the culture, but it's never outrightly said that she's from culture. She just seems to have, as a doctor, more ability than the average doctor, and she's got a different outlook on life and things like that. So it's anyway.
It doesn't count as
just,
technically.
It's
that's a nod. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a positive thing I'm trying to move forward with.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And I've always thought so this thing sometimes, friend groups do this sometimes, is you do like a presentation night it's kind of a jokey thing where each person makes a presentation on whatever, and you present it to friends in a silly way. Just kind of going back to a history thing, and I've wanted to. I think people don't realise it enough, or maybe it's just me. But between the fall of like the Roman Empire, I'm a white guy, so I think about the Roman Empire all the time, as we all do.
Yeah, I rather than Rome, I chose Germany. Yeah.
But that's only because it's a reflection of Rome.
True. Yeah.
But anyway, so there's the time between the fall of Rome and like any kind of civilization returning, like in a genuine sense in England. Yeah. Is like 1,000 years. There's like, even looking at art goes from like, we look at like the Sistine Chapel and blah blah. So no, Sistine Chapel's a bit further away, but like look,
but
Roman,
the sculptures that have been found through history.
The Colosseums,
the buildings of you can see them still standing in some cases, but Pompeii, if you go there, they're still there. These wonderful buildings with fantastic murals and not murals, mosaics. I was thinking of.
Have a look. And then you look at art and like, it just goes downhill, and no one can draw again for some reason, or paint or anything. And it takes forever to get back up. And, there's so much to go. All of Europe is divided after the fall of Rome, really. And everyone's warring each other. It's just, it shows how civilization can... We always think it's going to go forward, right, and up.
Yeah, or it's a linear line as well, that we always...
Or it's going to keep going up. I know. He's using his arms in gestural ways. It always goes up.
Yeah, it always goes up.
But it doesn't. Sometimes it does go down.
And
the fall of Rome is a really... I think it's a really example, and I think people forget it exists. But I want to do, like... I want to do, like, a stupid version of it where, like, to truly understand the fall of Rome, we have to have some context. The Big Bang. We'll start there. just go all the way up to the fall of Rome. And, like, the first amphibian that walks on land... And I refer to it as, and this is Caesar's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Like, do all this kind of stuff. Like, bring it always back to Rome. I think that'd be a very funny, like, presentation to give, right? Because there's all sorts of things. So, like, what was that? Like, when the Earth was, like, formed, and, like, it was all one large mass.
One continent.
I forgot what they call it, like, Pangea.
Pangea, yeah.
Scotland and England were actually on different parts.
So they'd been brought together.
They'd always been divided. It's kind of the joke. So that's why Hadrian's Wall's there, because the Romans knew these weren't meant to be together. Like things like that.
Hadrian was already there before they joined.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, there's something in that, and I think that'd be a very funny joke, but then you could have a very serious message at the end about, like, and it can all just go to shit. Yeah. So, like...
Well, that's great, because we're entering a time of uncertainty.
Wow. Come on, Mark. Yeah. Let's have some hope on this. Anyway, perhaps we'll do this week's topic instead. Yes. So this week we're hitting it, Mark. We're doing it. Spaceships. The first of the spaceships, Class 1A spaceships. Now, Mark, if people haven't listened to the last episode, we discussed all the classifications of spaceship. Would you like to, in your own words, please, define a Class 1A spaceship?
Well, my notes here from last time: fighter class. But I've been dwelling on that. I don't think we need to necessarily be fighter class.
I don't want to name the classes. I think just calling it a 1A, because I think we don't...
Sorry.
I just think 1A is a bit, it's more ubiquitous.
But the criteria I put against it was one person in cockpit.
I think we can change that a little bit. I think... because you can have like a gunner. I think a gunner, or like you can have two cockpit, but you can't get out or move about kind of thing.
But then we had this whole conversation about having 1A, which was larger 2 to 5 cruise ships.
That's 1B.
Sorry, 1B. What did I say?
You said 1A. You got 1 and 1A, which is 1A and 1B actually. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I've changed it. It's 1B now.
Very good. I just wrote the wrong thing. 1B is the carrier ships that have a galleyway of some description, but couldn't do long sustained journeys.
Yeah. Not lived in. They just go to do the job and come back again.
Yes. Yeah. So we've decided that there's fighters.
Yeah.
And we've gone through in our own time. I think this is the most research we've ever done together.
Yes.
For an episode, and we've got, how many ships have we got here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 28 ships.
28
It's a lot of ships. I put it on a tier maker.
I've got
so
25 in this.
Oh,
there's
good
some
Lord.
duplications.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at you sent me the WhatsApp with
the kids.
The
with
WhatsApp.
The WhatsApp.
28. You're right.
28.
I forgot the 3 that
I put it in a tier list. We got S, A, B, C, and D. Now, I've also said some criteria to you, and the criteria I put for the categories we should rank them on it. We should rank them on. It should be coolness, how iconic the ship is, how well it fits into the world's technology. So if it breaks the technology, it feels stupid, doesn't work, then... And it has to be on a universe-to-universe basis because, different players play by different rules. And then its character, how, much of a character it plays in the universe.
I like that, but I have one more that I'd like to
Okay,
add,
that's fine, yeah.
Which is uniqueness. Okay,
that's
so something that what about it is different.
What makes it different? I agree with that because there are a few ships where I'm like, it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of iconic, but it's very generic. But I think there's also a few points going through this, and I think you'll agree with this because we talked about it a little bit earlier. In terms of the fighter class or the 1A class, Star Wars does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, it's
surprisingly
actually,
so.
Doing the research, I was expecting to bring up loads of other ships, and I was excited about this that were from different series and films and video games. And then when we came to look at it, I was like, oh, that's not actually 1A. That's not 1A. Oh, I like that one. It's not 1A.
It's not 1A. No, it was a lot of this isn't really 1A. And actually, so this, of course, is an extensive. This is not an exhaustive list.
And how much, I was tempted to look at fiction, written fiction, but then it's down to how somebody interprets the description, and it just,
I know, and actually I was thinking there's, and things like Mass Effect. We've got none from Mass Effect. I think there's probably a few in there. I think in Star Trek, there's not really any fighters, or if there are, they're not they're not fighters. They're transporty kind of things.
And the ones they have that are on tend to be workers. I think they're called bees. Some of them. They're basically one-man pods and they're quite dull, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot. I found a lot of that as I was going through this list.
It's like Star Trek. They're shuttles. They're dull. And the reason why they're dull is because the original series, when they decided that they needed to have shuttles, because originally it was all about the transporter saving them money on having to land a ship in a
fort.
When they did decide on one, they needed a prop that was easy to build and usable.
Yeah,
like that.
They are kind of square.
They're very square.
I don't quite like it. I don't think it's wrong. It's very utilitarian.
Definitely it's warmed to me over the years, and even how later series still had some sort of shuttle. They got more interesting, going to Voyager with the Delta Flyer, but again, it's not a one man. It's not a small thing.
It's not these fighter things. Yeah. And actually, they don't have any. I was thinking about this when I watched the films. There's not really, apart from drones and stuff. There's not really any. They're not in a cockpit going around in their helmet and they go boom, 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 boom. There's none of that kind of fighting in space. It's weird. It was very surreal to me that it is like that. But yes, but we have made a list.
Yes, we have made a list.
And this is probably specific to us because these are the media that we've consumed. Now, the first one on my list is, I want to get the name right, so I'm going to have to go click all round. It's the Swordfish 2 from Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. Now, do you have any thoughts about this immediately?
I do like it. I will, it will come up later on, but I went for the Red Tail from Cowboy Bebop because I really like bubble cockpits. You'll see this later.
Yeah.
I do like that thing, and I like it. The fact that it's almost like a bodybuilder with arms.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I did the Swordfish 2. I do like it. I do like it. It's really nice in motion, I would say.
Yes.
You see it whiz through the skies.
It really lends itself to its anime characteristics, which it comes from, right?
But to be honest, that's one of the great things about Cowboy Bebop. It is the intro sequence, the title sequence. When you've got all the ships doing their different thing, it's quite visual. And it's such a distinctive shape as well.
It is so distinctive. I was thinking about that. It's in terms of ships, it's so weird, right?
Yeah.
But it feels cool.
Yeah,
And I
very
remember someone
cool.
describing it. It's weird because when I was watching, because I watched a few videos on what other people thought of these kind of things, and someone described it as a muscle car. And I'm like, is it though? Is it a muscle car? It doesn't feel like a muscle car.
I think it's...
It just feels like a sleek spaceship. It feels like more like a sports car than a muscle car, you know?
Yeah, it is sports car. It's in fact it's more Formula One. You know, weird angles coming out that are doing something. You know, it's doing something to do with
the aerodynamics of space.
Yeah,
but it's so funny how many ships have wings and they're all in space. But yes, in terms of, I think it's unique. I think it's got a lot of character. I think it lends itself so well to that anime style because it's got all these shiny reflective surfaces. It draws so well. Yeah. I think it's a little quirky. Like I think it's like it feels kind of fragile just looking at it.
Yeah, and the fact that it's meant to be a bit of a fighter does make you think a bit like, is that gonna survive?
But it does fit into the world, you know.
Yeah, it very much fits in the world. I mean, that's with Cowboy Bebop generally, they're such a visual style. Their main ship, I've forgotten what it's called now. We'll come back to this, I'm sure,
in the next episode.
Yeah,
next couple of episodes, yeah.
And then the what's Hammerhead? The other ship. There's 3 ships that they have, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head now.
I think it's
been a while. But just in terms of, so if we're going to go through our ranking list then, so I guess we'll just go high, medium, low for what we think for this ship, yeah?
Okay,
so in terms of coolness, what are you going with?
I would say high.
I'd say medium. I say medium because it's not like cool. There's a few ships there that I think are cool. So I'm going to have to write some stuff. We're going to have to imagine. Oh my god. Oh gosh. So we're going to go medium high on coolness. Iconic.
I don't think it's that iconic.
No, I don't think it's so
I don't
weird.
think it's I think with people that know Cowboy Bebop, it is
probably iconic. But it's like I had to go look up and think about. So I think we're going to go low on iconic.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to go with how well does it fit into the world? I think so well. It feels great in the world. And in character,
I mean, it also reflects what's his name? The main character, Spike. It really represents Spike as well. It's spiky, and it's unusual, and it's quirky, and that's.
But it's got like a little bit of cool on it. It's quirky with a little bit of cool. I think it's an A tier ship, actually.
Yeah.
If it was like more iconic, if more people knew it, I think it would go higher.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put that in A tier. Very nice. We're agreeing too much too early, I fear.
There's definitely some hiccups that are going to come across.
Well, this next one, the problem with this next one is...
Did we go for uniqueness?
Yeah, well, if you...
Oh, sorry, you would...
I've gone through everything.
All right, sorry.
We went with A tier.
Oh, I see. I got you.
We went for A tier. Overall, yeah. So the next ship that you've brought, because I have no idea what this ship is the Thunderfighter.
Thunderfighter, yes.
From Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Now, for me, it's a bit of a... I couldn't...
If I was to describe it, I should probably describe it to our audio listeners. It looks like a rip-off of the Jedi Fighter from Episode 3. It looks a bit more rectangular. It's got pointy kind of jets that go all the way through the ship, and then it has some underslung fins, I'd say. But the cockpit's very similar.
Yeah.
It's a lot more flatter.
It's got a good pedigree because it predates the Jedi Fighter, for one thing.
That's true. You can see that in the visuals.
When I was a kid, all my friends, everyone I knew had a toy of it. And it was very weird because the toy, because it's die-cast and aimed at children, those 2 pointy bits at the front, the toy had a little plate of metal across, so you couldn't jab it into your friend's leg because it would have hurt. Die-cast metal. So I actually quite like it as a design. It's worth having a look for the toy version of it. But it is also linked to another series, Battlestar Galactica, because it was designed originally as a ship for the Viper, which we'll come to later on. And so it's quite, it's late 70s this was designed. and it wasn't the right thing for that show. But when they came to making the creators came to making Buck Rogers, that came up and it got used.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of nostalgia for me in it.
That's fair. Do you think people of your generation would have a lot of nostalgia for it, and yourselves, or do you think it's just you? If I was
you would. Yeah, you talk to somebody with an interest in the genre. Definitely, first of all, they would say, yeah. Somebody of my age definitely would know what show that was from. They might not know its name. I didn't know its name, to be honest.
A lot of these shits. It's another interesting point. A lot of these shits, I didn't really know their names. I had to go Google. Like, I didn't know it's called the Swordfish 2.
Yeah, I mean, because it never gets referenced in the actual media itself.
Who names their shit? Yeah. I mean, the most iconic, the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. Because they say it every fucking 5 minutes.
Yeah. So, the weird thing I found, that this picture is... I think it's a toy model or something.
It looks like a toy. In terms of the photo, it's going to be hard for everyone to get that. But it looks like those early CGIs where they haven't really got lighting right. Or it might be a model in a studio where the lighting isn't quite right. Everything feels a little too shadowy.
But I really found it difficult to actually get a image of it.
In terms of the actual show, was it doing a lot of work? Was it doing lifting? Was it...
It was a lot because of the time of it. It was basically a lot of the time it's just stock footage of the same.
Oh, it's the same movement.
Yeah, just very much
cross screen or whatever.
Yeah, it was iconic. I think
it was iconic.
No. Okay, sorry. Because there was the toy. Because you could hold it in your hand. There were little. Corgi size, the sort of like Matchbox car size ones.
Yeah, I know.
And then you'd have a bigger one that had pop-out wings, and maybe it was more about the toy than the actual series. I enjoyed the series; it's a bit of fun. It's got.
There's something great about as a kid and even as an adult. It's something great about holding a spaceship and
whizzing it around.
So in terms of our categories, we got to rank it. I can only really rank it on coolness. Is really the only one I can give it so many points.
I gotta be honest. I think it a lot of it is just nostalgia.
So coolness, I'm gonna have to rank it low. I don't look at that ship and go, "That's a cool ship." I feel like that's a standard looking spaceship. Personally, what would you say?
Coolness. 10-year-old Mark would be like, "That's the bomb." Mark now, I'm looking at it and going, what is it about it that really, really appeals? And it's okay. It's okay.
It is okay, isn't it? I was thinking, it's okay.
There's enough about it. It's almost, actually, look at some of the screenshots here. It's almost like a snow speeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking love a snow speeder.
I do love this.
You've been talking about snow speeders for ages because you were the other day like, I don't know if it goes into space. I don't know if I can put it on the list. I'm like,
I can't put it on the list because it doesn't go, and I can't put it on 1A even if it did because it's got 2 people in it.
You can put it in a 1A. It's fine.
I'm not putting it in a 1A because it doesn't go into. Unless somebody can prove to me.
Issues later.
Okay, hold on. Let's do it.
He's googling it. This is something he's doing research live on the podcast.
Speeder.
Furiously typing.
That's just how I type.
You're always furious.
Snow speeders, modified T-47 air speeders, are not designed for spaceflight.
That's fair enough. We were very good at agreeing that they need to be able to be in the spaceships.
One thing we did talk about was the idea that both of us came across a lot of stuff that we thought were spaceships, but turned out not to be.
Or it was close, but it wasn't exactly.
Yeah,
I think there is in another whole grouping thing. There's just aircraft.
Yeah,
that's a different thing.
Sci-fi aircraft.
Yeah.
That's another whole other day.
We'll go through sci-fi bikes. We'll go through sci-fi trains. Anyway, so I think we've both got pretty bar hum opinions on. I can't give you much, but I think should we put it on a C tier, B tier?
Yeah, I think a C tier is fine.
C tier.
I think I'm just on an.
We've got to have some chaff,
nostalgic kick here.
For the week to come through from. Right, our next ship. Very iconic ship. Do you know the actual name?
It's a TIE Interceptor.
TIE Interceptor from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't seen this, I don't know where you've been, because it's the iconic, and I will say iconic, dome with the two side panels, but it's got the pointy fronted side panels rather than the flat sides.
And they're angled as well.
Angled
Whereas the traditional TIE fighter was straight. No, they're the hexagons.
I did find there were, normal hexagon plates. I did find actually with a lot of my research that, especially in Star Wars, and it's pretty good world building actually, is they would have there's so many variants.
Yeah.
They'd have the early Clone Wars one, because I think the X-Wing has some really cool early Clone War variants. Because it has some that have a droop nose. We'll get to that in a bit. But it has a droop nose and it has 3 cockpit bits. Very cool. But TIE Fighter.
TIE Interceptor specifically. It's specifically that, because yes, the original TIE Fighter, iconic. It's not the one that makes me excited.
Is
the TIE Interceptor? Yeah. The fact is, it's dealt with the fact that a normal TIE Fighter is dumb. Really.
I think no. I think this is, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate this, which is things looking sick is like sometimes, and it's cool, isn't always the best, because you get all these really sharp edges and like it's just trying to look cool. And actually a lot of the time that feels very generic, right? Whereas if it looks a little weird, sometimes it's way more iconic and way cooler over time.
But I'm talking from real world. Real Star Wars world.
Yeah,
it's impractical. You're basically blocking off your left and right from view because of the design of the ship. That's true. Not practical. That's not sensible as a ship. I love the look of it. It's terrifying. It's add with it the sound design.
Very menacing.
It's really menacing. But if you look at the TIE Interceptor, it is sharp. It's pointy. Its guns you can see its guns. They're in the wings. They're forward facing. Yeah. But you've also got the ability to view out to the left and the right.
It is a more sensible ship.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. And it does feel a bit faster.
It looks faster.
And faster.
That was the thing. It first appeared in Return of the Jedi, and it was like, what the hell are they? And suddenly you got this thing screaming down at you. It was just it was a continuation of the original TIE Fighter in a really cool way. It was like a hot rod version of the TIE Fighter.
And we'll see later how that can go too far. But I agree. So it makes me think of the Death Star and the Star Destroyer. No, Planet Killer.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because the Planet Killer is kind of in the same vein. It's like the upgrade.
Yeah.
But you roll your eyes. Oh, the Planet Killer.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Great. Oh, they hollowed out a planet.
Yeah. Literally like that, right? But this, I feel like you're right. Sometimes they make a ship that looks scarier, and you're like, oh my god, that's the upgrade ship.
That really works. Yeah.
So I think in terms of, let's go through our categories. Cool. I'm going to give it another medium. I think you're going to give it a high.
I am going to give it a high because I think chef's kiss.
I think in terms of iconic, I've got to give it full marks for iconic because the TIE Fighter as a ship is iconic. I would say it's more iconic than most of the other ships from Star Wars, even though they're all the most iconic ships. But yeah, I'm going to give it more so. Are you going to give it top marks for iconic?
Yes, top marks for iconic.
How does it fit into the world?
Really well.
Best.
I think it looks like a natural development. The Empire were like, no, we need to have something better.
Yeah. Let's angle those panels.
Let's angle that. But that's what's really good about it is it ties in with Darth Vader's TIE Fighter.
Yeah, because he has
that
curved
sides. And it's almost like they developed that because it was what was his one? It's called I think it was a TIE Advanced prototype or something like that. It was meant to be like a one-off.
Yeah.
And it's like they've got that. You can picture the engineers going, "Oh, we're going to take this technology and add it to this, and do this," and it's an improvement. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think this is an S tier ship actually. At the end of the day, 100%. I think you'd agree with that, wouldn't you?
I 100% agree with it.
S tier TIE Fighter, very good. Now we go on to the next ship. Did you know this one existed?
I did. Yeah, I think.
This is just for everyone to know what this is. This is... I've got to find the...
Is it a Defender, I want to say?
It is a TIE D Defender Elite.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't have visual aids for them, imagine a TIE Interceptor, but they've added a third wing.
And then they've bent out the curve. The ankles have gone outwards.
This is... So I read the lore of this thing, because this is a perfect example of going too far.
Yeah.
I read the lore. This is supposedly the most elite of all the TIE ships, right?
Yeah.
It looks stupid as hell.
It looks incredibly stupid.
It looks incredibly stupid. It looks cumbersome. How would you even land? Like, everything about it feels wrong. They've got because it has the classic iPod, the big dome in the center where you sit.
The cockpit.
But it's more like an eyeball because it's like protruding out from the main chassis.
It takes away the neatness of it. That the ball.
It does. It feels like what someone said is more. And and the artists were like, do you have direction for that? And they were just like, more. And this is what they've decided.
I'm trying to remember. What did you, in your reading, did you come across where it first appeared?
I think it's a Clone War ship.
It was. Are you sure it wasn't a bit?
Or Legends. Was it Legends?
I wonder if
it might have been Star Wars Legends. It was in something that they were talking about it being like the best ship ever. And they've never made ships as good as them since. And all this jazz. And I was like, all right. I'll put it on the list. But it's a good example of how spaceship design can go
Hold on a minute.
wrong.
Let me see. First appearance. I've got a feeling it's a video game. Yeah, it is. It's first appearance in Star Wars TIE Fighter. Championed by Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oof.
Canon appearance is Star Wars Rebels. I think it was I'm trying to remember. I think in Rebels it's like that they're trying to destroy its production. Because it's too advanced. Too great. But
I mean, in terms of, I think the thing is, like, I feel happy slamming this. In terms of coolness, is like 0.
It's just...
In terms of iconic, it's not iconic, because there's a more iconic ship than it looks
and
like.
it's stealing...
It's stealing a lot of it. It feels like, how well it fits into the world? Not very well, I'll be honest.
Have you come across the TIE tank? I don't know if that's what it's named. There is a ground vehicle with the ball... and then tank tracks.
Oh yeah.
I think it appeared in another game.
It looks like a good video
game. RTS kind of.
Well, you can get a Lego. Oh, someone's Lego made it. It's not an official one.
You can get everything in Lego nowadays.
We'll talk about that. That's a little spoiler for later. But yeah, I know what has happened, and I think it's so true. Is they've gone, this is iconic. This shape. Yeah. We're gonna variant the shit out of it. It's just ruined it.
It's just ruined it.
It's just ruined it. So we're going to go D-tier. D-tier for the most advanced TIE fighter there is. And I don't feel any remorse about that.
I mean, maybe in the Star Wars universe that is terrifying to people, but...
It'd probably be terrifying, no. It's like any ship, if you saw it overhead, you'd just be like, oh my god. Oh, we're moving on. Next one. We've got lots to get through.
Yeah.
Next one. The UNSC F-29 Nandoa? I can't say this. Nandeo, I think it is, from Halo.
Yeah.
Without summed up, need we say more?
Does it appear... I think I asked you this question earlier on when I first saw it. Did it appear in Halo Reach? Because that's the only thing I can think of where it was.
I don't remember where it appeared. I looked up lots of Halo ships, and I brought this ship in because it made me think about Halo. Halo is one of my favourite series. I do think that's not a secret. But there's such room for great ships, and they have like 4, really, for a whole thing about spacefaring. And to be fair, they do a lot of stuff on planets, and there's a lot of planetary ships like the Banshee, which I really would have wanted to have on this list. But it's an open it's an open carapace, so it's not a spaceship. Like, it's so frustrating because there were so many opportunities. And I think there is actually a variant that is a spacefaring one, but the normal Banshee isn't a spacefaring ship.
Yeah.
And so I was just like looking. I found this one, the UNSC, and there's some stealth bombers, but they're category 1B, and we go down to 2. And there's lots in the 2 and 3 section.
Yeah.
But in the fighter section, there's not many.
No, nothing. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot of Star Wars. It's strange how much there is of Star Wars.
But so this one, in terms of, I think we can go through this one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
In terms of things, I think in terms of coolness, I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like an actual futuristic jet.
Yeah, it looks like it's taking its language more from modern military jets and trying to be something that could probably go into orbit and
it looks like
on a planet.
A fighter jet on steroids. The nose cone is like way longer, but otherwise it feels just like a normal jet, right?
It also makes me think, though, of the very vanilla ships in that No
Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
I was going to talk about that in a bit as well.
Yeah, I feel is pretty generic.
I think
there's
like
later
concept
stuff
art,
that are
right?
better.
Looking
Yeah,
at it feels more like concept art than a genuine ship, which makes me feel not very iconic. So I think we're going to put this in C tier because I don't want to put it in D tier because I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I'm not like this is bad. I just think
it's just a bit meh,
and it's more to point at that like it's a universe where there could have been so much more, but there just isn't for some reason.
Well, there's a lot of things in it. Yeah, there's stuff that says, modern military, but there's also stuff in there that makes me think of Captain Scarlet. There's some ships in that, but they're not spaceships. They're fighter jets. Again, it's a lot of fighter jet language there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of white nose cone for some reason,
which doesn't feel unique. That just feels like, and actually it feels like just concept art for a ship. So I'm going to put it in C.
When you compare that to other things in Halo, especially, you see the Pelican. That's got its own design language.
Actually, the Covenant have great looking ships.
Yeah.
They're so curvy, but the design language is the same the whole way through, and I think that feels.
They're still quite aggressive, aren't they?
They do feel aggressive. Talking of aggressive,
this is
we're going into some Warhammer stuff now. So this is the model. This is the Razor Wing Jet Fighter from Warhammer, which is an Eldari or Dark Eldar ship. Would you like to give it a quick description there?
It's almost a stretched out Batwing from Batman.
It is very Batwing. It's very spiky.
It might be a choice of the colour. It's mostly black, but it's got green elements through it, which I really like. It adds an element of it's
classic Eldari, this kind of dark green, really dark green, and with the greener highlighting accents and red.
But there's lots of. I love the back fins, which have little notches out of them.
That's the classic Eldar like space elf language. It's having these kind of notches on the back and having these curves. There's something about the angle of curves were really good.
They're not what you would normally see. It's quite original in that sense. It's very spiky. It's very gothic almost. But it's also there's an element of jet in there. What's it called? The Blackbird.
Yeah,
Blackbird.
Yeah. FR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
It's got some of the same design language, and it's probably made around the same time.
And in fact, the black and red colouring is with the other element is red.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like a Batwing. It fits the Dark Eldar because it's spiky and menacing.
The one thing I don't like about it is the gold or brass tipped. Are they
gun stuff?
Are they guns or they're
guns?
They're not missiles then.
I think the missiles. There's like a more recessed set of things.
Yeah, the things that look like they could be the jets are actually.
I think they're jets and missiles.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan. I'm not. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the colour of them, but I'm not one for pointy things sticking out like that.
I think because it's Warhammer, you've got to remember the guns have got to be very visible, so you can see what guns the thing has, right? I think for me, because I come from Warhammer, worlds stuff, it is iconic. I think the Eldar or the Space Elves have always had very iconic spaceships, and I think this is like the epitome of the Dark Eldar vibe, which is. It's all elfy and like it's curved and stuff, and it feels like very flowy movement. But it's got all the sharp edges, right? And it feels like menacing because it's the Dark Eldar.
I know what it's thinking. The curves are making me think of a Klingon Bat'leth.
Yeah.
It's like you've turned that into a spaceship. You've stretched out the middle part and made a cockpit, and then you've got these sharp, pointy blades that could cut you up. You can imagine it flying into somebody and knocking a load of heads off of orcs or something.
Yeah, it probably goes down and just like those wings are probably actually razor sharp, right?
Yeah,
it comes just
they've been sharpened. Yeah.
It does feel like that. I think in terms of just in Warhammer in general, in terms of tabletop, they're kind of moving away from aircraft because they whole host of problems trying to write rules for aircraft as well in a miniature war game. But I think for some reason there's a few ships on this list and that's one of them that I think is really iconic for me because it's the Space Elves kind of have more of like floaty things, and these are just like an extension of that. In terms of coolness, I think it's a high to medium coolness.
I don't think it's cool.
Fair enough.
It's iconic. I'm going to say iconic. Why is it iconic?
It's probably more iconic to me. It's the same kind of nostalgia.
It's not iconic for me because I reckon. Skipping ahead, I recognise the Imperial ships that you've chosen.
Okay.
But maybe it's just my familiarity towards
it's fine.
it.
I think it's like maybe it's just because as a kid, you go and look through the store and it's like there, and it's like one of the bigger models. You're like, ooh, the big one. And In terms of iconicness, I think it's pretty iconic. How well it fits into the world, it's a really hard one. I think all fighters... Well, I think the only people who get away with fighters are the Eldar and Eldari and the Dark Elves, because Jakari, because like that's kind of their vibe. They have things that float and they have a lot of jet bikes. And they're kind of doing a lot more fast maneuvering. That's kind of their whole deal. So I think they get away with it. Where I think when we get to Space Marine stuff, I don't think they get away with it because it doesn't feel Space Marine-y. But so I think it fits well in terms of character. I think it's part of the Eldar. So I think I would put this all kind of high, looking at A and B.
I was going to say B.
B.
I think
B.
Primarily because it's not wider known.
That's fine. I understand that, and I feel like this is going to be the problem with some of these because I know them and no one else in the world is going to know them. There'll be a few later on. Well, the next one is a Space Marine one.
Yeah.
Now I've got some issue about this Space Marine. Let me just find its name for you. It is the Zephon Pattern Interceptor.
Rolls off the tongue, that name.
Hell yeah. Which, if I was to describe, is like they took the Viper from Battlestar Galactica and they were like Space Marine it a bit.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because that was my first thought when it came to describing this. It is a knockoff. I can imagine somebody scratch building this and actually taking the model kit of a Colonial Viper.
I feel like that's probably how they made it initially. Yeah. Now my thoughts are this: it doesn't fit in Space Marine stuff. Space Marines, no. If we look at the lineage of Space Marine stuff, it's meant to be a box. You look at all of the other flying stuff, it's all just a brick with wings.
You mean like the landing craft and things like that? Yeah.
And there's some other fighters. There's some other fighters. There's one for Dark Angels, which is kind of the same as this, but they're meant to be bricks with wings. That's how the system works. The tanks are bricks with treads.
Yes.
The walkers are bricks with feet, right? With the dreadnoughts. It's moved on a little bit since then, but
they still are quite angular.
The whole point, squares, and this thing the Zephon Interceptor feels like a sleek, elegant thing which doesn't fit into this gothic dark...
I don't think it even... The thing is, because it's... The Colonial Viper, I will sing its praises in a while.
I've got some real thoughts about that shit.
But because they've Space Marined it, like you said, they've added the squareness to it. And they've made it...
But they haven't even done much of that.
They haven't done much of it, but the bits they have, if you look at the wings themselves, the Eldar ship, you felt like that came to that came to a point. Those wings.
Blades.
Whereas this is like unaerodynamic. This is not going to fly.
To be honest, I think it's almost more than that. It looks like it could sort of fly, but Space Marine stuff is meant to look like it shouldn't ever fly. Like it should never. They're like going to put the thrusters on full to make it do anything.
From the dalliances I've had again with 40k now, it just feels like their main thing is let's drop some troops on the Earth. I as well as the drop ships, I think there's sort of like landing pods or something.
Yeah, they've got drop pods.
Yeah, drop pods. That's the word. And that just feels like we just need to get troops down there. Boom. Yeah. Why are they spending time and energy having
spacecraft? No, I agree. It just doesn't fit. So I think I want to put this in D tier because it just doesn't fit in the world. And it's a good example of a ship that probably in another universe would be quite nice, right?
You could have the right story behind it.
But in the Space Marine Warhammer universe, it looks ridiculous.
Who's fighting in these? Is it a Space Marine?
Yeah, it's a Space Marine.
That?
Yeah. And his massive armour. Isn't that ridiculous?
That is mental. I thought the whole point of these ships was the Imperial Army that was flying these.
No, there are some Imperial Navy ships.
Yeah.
But we have one later
and that gets a bit... Yeah, I think I've seen bombers and stuff as well, haven't I?
There are bombers. But this is like... They had to have a Space Marine ship, right? And this is the Space Marine ship. And it looks ridiculous. And I just think D tier. D tier.
I mean... What I'm learning about 40k, the Space Marines are all about getting up close and personal. Why is this guy... in a suit of armour, fair enough if it was more like like the Dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
That would be a story there. The Dreadnoughts are Space Marines that have died in war.
Yeah.
Why isn't that a drone ship with a Space Marine pilot?
I know. I totally agree. No.
That would make more sense as a story.
It feels like because this is actually a Forge World model. which means it's already on the periphery of Warhammer world stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But it just feels like someone made it and no one really thought about, is that the thing? Like, you look at bigger ships, we'll get some bigger ships like the Thunderhawk gunship, which is just a block. It's just a block with wings, and I'm here for that every day of the week. Love me a block with some wings. But we're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on to arguably one of the most iconic spaceships.
Yes, absolutely,
in the fighter
110%.
Probably when people hear fighter spaceships, they see this.
Yeah.
The Y-wing.
What? Actually, we didn't put the blooming Y-wing. Probably because it's two-seater.
I thought you left it out for a specific reason.
No,
I noticed it.
It's a two-seater.
Oh, God. It probably should end up on this list, but I thought you were like...
No.
X-Wing.
X-Wing. We were talking about the X-Wing. It is, yeah, 100%. It is probably the most iconic ship. I bet if you showed 100 people, this list of ships, everybody would get X-Wing.
I think
absolutely,
totally
everybody would get the X-Wing.
And I think this is why Star Wars does aircraft so well, or space fighters so well, is because this has got such good design language. It looks cool. It's iconic to the point where it feels generic. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I've seen an X-Wing
I think that's
times.
What, yeah, I think it's because it has got that position that as time has gone by, I'm not as enamoured by it as I was as a child.
No, for real. I was thinking this earlier. Like, is it dull? I'm like, it's not really dull. It looks really cool. It's just I've seen it like 100 times.
I used to draw so many X-Wings and TIE fighters on pieces of paper growing up. You're having little battles. Just imagining me flying one. And I had one. I had a toy of one as a kid. It was the Dagobah X-Wing, which came with the little decals you could put on the side of it to make your ship murky.
Unique one.
No. You
could decal grime.
Yeah, you could decal grime, which I instantly regretted because you couldn't take them off again.
Okay.
So you couldn't have the pristine ship. You've now got Dagobah ship. But anyhow, it was a great model. It had great swooshability.
Yeah, no.
Moving that through the air felt great. Being able to pop that button and the wings pop up.
Yeah.
You were in the film. You were on that Death Star.
That feels like it was built almost for the toy. That kind of like wing splitting.
Yeah.
Right?
It's got to be.
No, I agree. It's such a good ship.
And
actually,
I've got my kids have had, I think, a couple of models now of the X-Wing in Lego. Oh, such a tactile.
It lends
form.
itself well to it. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know much more we can say about it. It is iconic. It is so iconic. It almost feels generic. It's a great. It feels like it feels like the freedom fighter to the TIE fighters imperialness.
And there's enough language in there that feels real world. That when you see that ship in a quick video of what's happening, you know what you're doing. You've got
all the context immediately.
There's weapons on the ends of those wings. Those are wings. They pop open. That must be for fighting.
It's doing something.
You never at any point you in the film you hear them go lock S foils in position. What S foils?
Well, it's great.
Why are they called S foils?
It's great. That's just building. It's just building on the world, right?
Yeah.
No, I agree. No, they're really good. And also, I love a ship with a long nose. Something about a long ship with a nose feels fast. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
And it has. I think it's because usually what you get in science fiction is you get the cockpit at the back of that long nose.
Yeah.
Whereas with real world, you're always sat on top of that nose, even if it's got a long thin part to it.
Yeah, that's all engine normally.
Yeah.
You don't have this weird front nose, but no, I agree. I like it on the X-Wing. Yeah. I think we're going to put this S tier straight away.
Yeah,
no
definitely.
questions.
There's no questions on that.
Next one, bit of an obscure one.
This is the AR wing.
R wing from Star Fox.
AR wing.
It is. Let me get it up because I wrote it down. I wrote them all down. Is AR wing from Star Fox. This has had loads of iterations, but it is an iconic ship to some extent. If you played N64 or just any Star Fox, it's the Star Fox ship, right?
Yeah, it's very iconic for Star Fox. I think it says a lot. I found it an odd ship though, myself.
It is an odd shape, but I think in some ways that is part of its quirk, right? It's quite stubby.
It's very stubby.
And it's sharp as well.
It is trying to do something unique.
I imagine it's a result of the graphical... Because actually, if you look at it, it's only like 5 shapes. It's like 5 different triangles, right? It probably came from being 5 different triangles.
Very basic
graphical
capacity, which is great. I think having a design come out of restriction
always breeds creativity, and I think this is such a good example of that. Is it a good design?
I don't think it's a. That's a sad thing. It's almost like it's the big shoulder pads. It's the 80s shoulder pads on there. Those big blue pointy things.
So
it's
right.
like, and it feels again. It's that TIE fighter thing. Is that blocking vision? Are those engines? Are they guns? I don't know.
The design language is a bit muddled.
I mean,
I agree.
This version, whatever it is,
this is
obviously
the most
far
muddled.
more.
It's the high res version. I got the highest res I could find.
When you see it in the game, when it's just these blue triangles on the side of a white body, I think it's iconic. Definitely, I don't think it's cool.
No, I gotta agree. It's not cool. I don't think it fits in the. It does. It looks good in the way of like if you think about the creativity that made it. It looks unique in that respect. But is it cool? Does it hold up today?
I wouldn't want to hold. I wouldn't want a model of it.
No, that's a very good point. It doesn't look a place you can hold it. It doesn't feel like there's anywhere.
Well, not even for the swishability. I mean, just
swishability. That's the category.
If you had that, swishability. But you wouldn't want to. Even with this higher quality version of it, there's still not a lot about it, is there? It's still, but it's unfair to
I want to put it down at C tier. I think it's not doing work. I think we can move on from it. I don't think it's doing loads for us. What have we got next?
I don't know what this is, to be honest. This
is a suggestion, so you can.
No, I'm not
changing your tone now.
This looks like AI slop, buddy.
No, it's not. This is
a set you could buy.
This is Benny's spaceship from the Lego movie. That's Benny's spaceship from the Lego movie. Now I put this in because I think it is unique. I think it looks so stupid.
I'm just looking.
He's just Googling it.
I'm Googling.
I'll describe it for our listeners. It's just imagine a Lego spaceship from the 80s. It's blue and grey.
Oh my
it has loads
God.
of random bits on it. It has that kind of neon yellow
translucent
carapace.
yellow.
Is that carapace?
Yeah,
carapace. It's got crazy design language as you'd expect. There's pipes everywhere. It just looks weird, and I think it's worth talking about for a minute.
I remember this being Googling. No. I remember this being better than it was. I think this is overdone as a thing. As a Lego model, it's just too many things. I suppose that was the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Crazy spaceship. I'm going to knock down whatever I've got to make this. But if you look at, there was a recently.
Recent news.
Yeah, when I was growing up, many moons ago, when Lego Space was relatively new, there were some lovely ships, and recently they
kind of re-going back.
Yeah, they redid a version of it with modern sensibilities.
Interesting. I had a friend give me, and I must have it upstairs, is some of this like ice spaceship explorer stuff, which has white and blue and a neon orange.
Yeah, I know the stuff you
carapace.
mean.
And I still have a lot of that upstairs. I think that's crazy how old that logo must be, actually. But I kept all the sets because I remember the guy who gave it to me being like, "This stuff is going to be worth a lot in however many years." I just kept it, but like I don't want to sell it. I want to keep it because it's going to be worth even more. But like I don't care about how much it's worth. I care that like it's kind of a bit of history, to be honest.
Let me put this on the WhatsApp.
Oh, we're getting another ship on the WhatsApp. Let me brace myself. Ready for it. Ready to receive.
Hold on.
Oh, it's a link. I'll have a look at the link.
Sorry.
Okay,
I thought I had a picture, but
it's a Lego Galaxy Explorer. Product code 10497.
So Yeah.
It's a 90s anniversary. So it's
Yeah,
it's
so
one of
it's-
the original ships. It feels
It's
more
not. It's
blocky.
not original.
It's
ship.
a remake of an original ship.
Because if you have a look at the layering of the wings, for example, it's not just one single plate.
Yeah, they put some detailing in it now rather than it being single plate. It does look blocky. It looks like classic 90s or even 80s Lego, to be honest.
Yeah, it's got the same. But to me, that's more interesting than the spaceship.
Actually, I do tend to agree, actually.
I was disappointed by it. Like I said, I thought it was, when I was looking at it just now, it just...
You think it looked too much?
It was...
It's too curvy, I guess. It's like, I guess the old style Lego, and you're so right about this, the old style Lego is like, you would have a plate, you'd have the plate, the thin plates. You wouldn't have all the new kind of trimmings where they do a little bit of curvature.
There was too many... There's also... I think this is one I actually had...
Oh, it's going to give me another one.
This is different. This is... Yeah.
Oh, this is so good for the audio listener.
This is fascinating. But this... Do apologise, dear listener. We will release the video images.
Oh, yeah. That's Lego set 6886.
Yes.
Which is... It's got... it's old because it has that... that grid that goes to infinity. I don't know how to
Oh yeah,
neon wave or whatever it's called.
That says 80s, doesn't it? Really,
that background grid that just peters off into a point.
But that was some of the stuff I had growing up.
Is that Space Police?
Yeah, it's Space Police.
Oh hell
so
yeah.
what basically they swapped out the color palette from being blue, grey, and the neon translucent yellow. They went for black and red translucent bits. And you can see on the back there's a little prison cell.
Yeah, the prison. It's a laser prison.
I've still got those side pieces, I've still got them in the Lego set somewhere. I've lost the red lid, but I've got some of those, But so
Lego did try and make it so it's so interesting that Lego did try and make its own spaceship brand, but it never really it became iconic in the Lego world, but it's not
hugely iconic.
It's
the
not
blue, grey, and.
But it's so weird because when I think of spaceships, I don't think of Lego spaceships. I think of Star Wars ships that are made of Lego.
Okay. Oh.
I don't
maybe,
think of...
but that might be a generational thing. I grew up with those toys. I had some of those grey, blue, yellow sets, and to me, that was I built a spaceship. I could build the spaceship that came in the set, or I could build my own. I had loads of wings. I could...
I remember getting some spaceship sets and being like, I've got all the wings now.
I've got all the wings now.
All the wings.
I can make all the
triangles, essentially.
But that's why I'm a bit... I remember more from the Benny spaceship, because I loved that bit in
the movie.
Lego movie. Just the moment I can build because he keeps trying to build a spaceship, and they say, no, Benny, stop.
Yeah.
And he finally gets to go and build one.
And he's like the classic cracked helmet, which is it's good that Lego acknowledged the problems with it, and it has the worn off decal on his front. Oh, all really good stuff.
We're gonna have to go to the Lego movies at some point. I just love the fact you can see bits of fingerprints on some of the models and stuff like that, and the little details, dust bunnies, and all the detritus you find in a box of Lego. When you're scraping through. One thing they didn't do, which they should have done, I thought, was to have some bits of Lego that were non-Lego brand.
Okay, I don't have any non-Lego brand in my Lego.
Well, I'm talking... When I had Lego, the non-Lego brand Lego wasn't even compatible.
Okay, yeah.
So you'd get a grandparent or somebody who just doesn't understand what Lego is properly buying you a Lego set, and you're really excited because you can hear it in the wrapping paper, and you open it up and it's third party
Brickus or whatever.
And it's the circle studs are too big and it won't fit, and I've got in my Lego box at home that the kids have loads of bits. Every so often you'll find this bit and I don't recognise that shape. And you look at it, no, that's not real Lego. Anyway,
I don't have any of that. But anyway, to go back to the ship, I think the idea of Lego spaceships maybe is iconic. Is it cool? It's not even really iconic because I don't. Again, like I said, when I think of Lego spaceships, I don't think of Lego's own brand spaceships. I think of Star Wars Lego spaceships.
Yeah.
I think I've got
I
to
get
go down
what you're
C
saying.
tier.
I think you're right, and especially the example given. I don't think that's the epitome of Lego Star Wars. I think that
No, Lego,
that,
it's just Lego.
that the
Lego
one I was showing you,
spaceships.
your most
80s
recent version of it.
Yeah.
No, not the 80s. The revamping of the 80s one. I think that is, if I was to rank the Star Wars, you see how I'm saying it. The Lego Lego spaceships. That one to me, it's a modern version of what I remember as a child. It's not probably how I pictured it in my head as a child. Is that's what the Lego spaceship was.
I just don't think it's iconic. I just don't think.
I agree. I don't.
It's kind of interesting that I was surprised. Anyway, moving on. You're going to have to tell me what this ship is.
Well, this is the bubble fighter from Lost in Space.
Okay.
It is really hard to see in the film. It's really, I mean, Lost in Space is a bit of an odd film. It's a little bit of a bad film, a little bit of a good film. There's some good special effects in it, but there's some bad choices in terms of how it's filmed. There's basically at the beginning of the film, some bad people are trying to attack the facility where the main Lost in Spaceship is trying to take off from, and the good guys, led by Matt LeBlanc, Joey from Friends.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
He's the main pilot, and he's flying one of these. And it's really hard to see. It's really badly edited and filmed, but the ships themselves, they look so good in my mind.
Okay.
It looks.
I feel like I'm gonna wreck your heart.
No, it's very. I know what you're gonna say, and it looks like somebody's kit bashed a B-wing fighter.
No, it just looks. I gotta be honest. It looks ridiculous. What it is. So for those who don't know, it's a vertical set of wings that kind of taper towards the front. It's got a bubble carapace or like viewing mirror where the pilot obviously sits, and that's held in place by the jet that kind of protrudes backwards. And then there's a vertical fin going forward and a lower vertical wing going forward, but it's longer. And it all looks, and it's got some antennas everywhere. It all looks a bit fragile, and it all looks a bit not very good, to be honest. It looks a bit not very good. I'm gonna be real. It's not like you clearly care about visibility when flying your ship. That's got a lot of visibility. I'll give you that. But it's not. It's just it looks so dumb. It looks such a cumbersome way to build a ship, right? No, it's like why would you have two giant asymmetric wings vertically?
I don't know, but if it flies incredibly fast. Those wings actually spin round it as well at different points as it's flying around.
Because it's wings in space. I keep coming back to wings in space. It just looks. I don't know. It looks silly.
Where's the criteria that has to be realistic? We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
What about? We said how well it fits the world's tech.
So. That's not saying it's got to be realistic. It's got to fit the world.
But in any world, that looks ridiculous.
Fine. Look, I admitted it when I sent it over to you. It's just got. I've got a soft spot for it. I don't even like the movie that much, but the ship itself, it just has to me, it's got a nice design language that I really like. It maybe if you saw a video of it actually flying and stuff like it's blurry, hard. Whizzing straight past. I
think I just feel unrealistic still.
Yeah,
if you're whizzing past, and I'd be like, that's silly. I gotta be honest. In coolness, it's just not high, and it just doesn't feel like a good. I just don't think it looks good. I think the paint job. It's got like a paint job like a mouth, and it that kind of fits it. So
it's got a kind of
Some intern did a really good job there.
Intern.
They were handed it and be like, paint something on this, and they did some work, but otherwise.
Okay, fine. My hands are up. Put it where you want to put it.
No, come on. This is not how this works, Mark. Well, fine. D tier.
Definitive shit.
You going to put it higher than that? Do you want to higher than D tier?
No, put it D tier. I'm moving on. I'm not going to fight for it.
Right, the next one. Another one of your choices. Another ridiculous choice.
Oh my god. This is the B-Wing fighter from Return of the Jedi, everybody, and he's calling it ridiculous.
Okay, it's the same ship as last time, but they've moved the cockpit to the top. And they've added some form of horizontal wing. It's still ridiculous.
the horizontal wings fold in as well, so we can land.
The horizontal wings fold in so it can land.
Yeah. Basically, okay. That's the short, stubby ones, right? They fold down, right? So it can land like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The cockpit rotates
on the
round.
side. Yeah. I love it when there's
Have you not seen Return of the Jedi?
I have seen Return of the Jedi.
And you don't see them in that.
I'm pretty sure I have seen it, but I can't remember the exact scene. But I think this is ridiculous.
Well, that
I think all these kind of vertical style ships are silly. Silly ships. Silly ships.
But why? Why? This is unusual, different.
It's unusual. It is unusual, but unusual doesn't mean.
And
good.
this is the design line. I bet you like the bomber from last. Oh, good.
No, I don't. I think
because that borrows this design language.
I think vertical style ships or ships that are long, like they're long in the wrong direction, right?
But it's not.
They're wide
because of the rotating cockpit.
Because of the rotating cockpit. No.
It enables it to move around itself. It's got more. It's more firepower because of it.
No, because like all you gotta do is there's a tiny point. I think a lot of it is there's a tiny point that connects the cockpit to the rest of the ship, and you just hit that, and it's just gone, right?
No, it's fine. Do you know why?
No, why?
Because the cockpit in canon, it's ejectable.
It's ejectable, yeah.
It's ejectable.
I knew you'd say that because it looks like it. But it's not a good ship. I'm sorry, Mark. It's not a good ship.
It's got a fantastic design language. I love the design of this. This to me is one of the coolest ships in the Star Wars franchise.
It's the coolest ship in the Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is different. It's not.
Again, difference doesn't mean
good. Because the thing is with the X-Wing, if you look at it properly, it's just a plane. It's just a bog standard plane.
A lot of words for somebody put an S tier not 10 minutes ago.
Because it is iconic. I recognise that. But you've got to accept that this is a unique design. It is something you don't see in a lot of films. It's unique
design doesn't mean it's good. I don't think it's iconic either. It's just a ship and it looks weird.
Just a ship. How? Now that's going too far, young man. Just a ship.
Just a ship. For real.
Oh,
I'm going to put it C tier. You gonna do anything about that?
I would want it to be B tier.
Oh, God.
I honestly think it is an iconic design. It is something
you would see. I can't put it. No.
You see it in those fight sequences. You obviously haven't watched Return of the Jedi, that final battle, enough. Just to see these ships going through, and you've got this profile of this unique ship going through all this time. Don't talk to me about A-Wing. My boys love the A-Wing. I think that is just a blob.
Let me have a look at the A-Wing.
You don't know what the A-Wing is?
I've got to remind myself.
Oh my God, you obviously haven't watched enough of the Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, no, that's a real ship.
Come on now, boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't put it on this list because it looks very much like another ship that we're going to talk about.
It's incredibly basic.
I like it. No, I like the A-Wing. We didn't put it on this list for reasons. Because the other ship that I have looks pretty similar to it. So we'd be here forever talking about Star Wars, which would be pointless.
Yeah, there's too many.
Anyway, so we decided C tier for the B-Wing. You've not convinced me. All you said is come on. Doesn't it look cool?
It does look cool. It's got an unusual profile. You
keep saying that, but that doesn't mean anything. Unusual profile.
Oh, let's have another triangle, shall we?
Yeah,
there's a cross shape there. There's Christ references if you want to go that far. It's got a rotating cockpit. It has this ability to move itself around so you're in a better firing position. I'm assuming. I'm trying to build the real world things here.
Again, it just feels impractical. Why would you? This is the thing. Okay, if you were making this ship, okay, hear me out on this because this is so true. If you were making this ship in real life, right? And you had things like the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. And you're like, I've got an idea for a ship, right?
Yeah.
But it needs this fuck-off bearing that can suspend tons of weight that's just...
What weight? It's in space!
Or when it gets off space, mate. Or it lands on the surface, doesn't it? It lands on the surface sideways.
Yes.
So it's got to be able to support this immense moment of, like, inertia. Insane! This thing would have to have the craziest bearing in it. The R&D for building that bearing that holds the cockpit to the wing would be ridiculous.
Well, maybe these space scientists are far better than your engineering arse.
Sheesh, well, I'm electronics. I don't give a shit about mechanics.
Yeah. How's that bearing being run then? You wiring up some cables to that,
It's
are
called
you?
a slip ring. Have you heard of a slip ring? No, shut up.
It's a fucking spaceship from a science fiction film.
Yeah, but
it looks awesome.
Agreed to I knew this would be the contentious one.
I did not know that the B-wing would be the contentious
Not
one.
even a
I
minute.
was under the impression that this is.
It's just silly. It's just silly. No, because also imagine you were flying it like the vertical way, right?
Yeah.
And you'd have to. It's like a truck with 12 meters of sidewaysness. What do you mean? What if you hit the floor by accident? You're doing a low skin.
I will agree.
Your tail just
I will
hits
agree.
the water. You just
The
slams.
B-wing didn't go into the Death Star on the final
It
tag.
did because it would be so shit.
But-
It would be so shit.
Oh.
The B-wing's crap. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to one I think we can agree with. I put it in C-tier, by the way, just in case if anyone's following along, playing along. The next one. The Viper.
Well, that's the Colonial Viper.
Colonial Viper from...
Battlestar Galactica.
Very good.
Now, there are many incarnations.
There are many incarnations. I found this out whilst
Yeah.
doing this research. I think all of them, phenomenal ship.
Yeah.
Phenomenal
What
ship.
would you say of... Let's go into this, because there's the original series one.
Oh, I have to look at it.
Okay.
Original
Well, this is the picture
Viper.
that's here.
Is that the original?
That's the original one, yeah.
Okay.
That's Battlestar Galactica, the television
Okay,
series.
what's the other one I need to be looking at here quickly? In my
Well,
mind.
I think it's the Mark 1 from Battlestar Galactica, whatever year the more recent series came out. So what they managed to...
Battlestar
ape
Galactica
the
Viper MK1.
Yeah. And that apes the design language of that one more closely. And then you've got the Mark II from the same series. Now that becomes a little bit more...
It's a bit more sleek. I would describe that as F-Zero style. Not F-Zero, do I mean Zero? Wipeouts.
Wipeout, yeah.
Wipeout.
And it's got weird bobbly bits and stuff like that. But
It's a bit more rounded, I would say, is what the Mark II is.
Sleek.
What they've done is they've had more polygons to play with.
yeah. Well, no, they've had polygons to play with, whereas this is something that's hand built.
I'm going to say, when I think of... This is actually... If I think of generic spaceship, even like arcade spaceship, I think of the Viper. Right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think of a spaceship, the Viper is what comes to mind. And it's... In a way, it's a basic design. So, in terms of design uniqueness, I don't think it's actually that unique.
I think you're not taking history into play here. I think you're... No. What I mean was...
From the Hitler books.
No, not the Hitler books.
Hitler had a lot to say about the
Had
Viper.
a lot of rocket ships in his world.
The V1 rocket really inspired.
If you go back to the 1970s, late 70s, when Battlestar Galactica came out, the only reference we had at that point would have been Star Wars. So Battlestar Galactica came out as a series because of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to jump on that bandwagon. What can we do? So I think believe that some of the designers behind Battlestar Galactica, the series, were people from Star Wars.
Okay.
They came from that.
I didn't know
one.
that.
Yeah, I want to say John Strike. I can't get the name.
John
But there were people that worked on that. In fact, they took. I think it was the break between, not break so much at that time. They didn't know they were going to do it. But when Industrial Light and Magic wrapped up on Star Wars, that was it for a lot of the crew, and a load of them ended up working for Battlestar Galactica.
So I know that. He's that guy who he did MythBusters. Adam Savage. Thank you, disembodied voice. Adam Savage, he worked at Industrial Light and Magic in his early career.
Did
you know that?
When roughly what period?
I think he was like an intern during some of the Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
So he was very young, doing a little bit of that during that kind of time. He has a lot. I think he has a lot of prop stuff from Industrial Light and Magic. But yeah, so go back to the Viper.
So go back to the it feels basic because of the time period it came from. It was exciting. It was, it looks fast. It is fast.
It looks fast.
It manoeuvres well. It's got a little bit more of a real world
It just feels so right. It feels like it mixes. Talking about my ass here almost feels like. It feels like it mixes what would be like practicality with very cool.
Yeah.
It feels like if you need a fleet of these, this is the design you'd go for, but it's still cool.
And one of the things from the series is the way they're launched as well. They've got these tubes that they shoot out of Battlestar Galactica, and just the excitement of that happening. You press the little joypad has a turbo button on it, and you're like, vroom, out you go. And that image there that we're using from the WhatsApp. You got this trail of jet out the back of it, and it's almost like an arrow. There's this line.
It just feels fast. It feels sleek.
And they were filmed so well in the series. Again, there was a lot of that whole reusing the same.
And they do it like 1,000. They mirror it.
But when I was a kid, I didn't care. I watched them again and again because I just wanted to see the. Because I love Star Wars, but I didn't have the video player. I don't even know if the video. But you could watch on a afternoon. You could watch an episode of Battlestar Galactica, and you get that same buzz.
Yeah, no, for real. I think it's an S tier. The thing is, all I have for it is what I've got, which is I haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, but I know of the ship. I think I've seen some scenes just on Instagram or whatever. It looks cool. It just it's for some reason in my psyche, and I think in maybe pop culture. It's seen as the it's something about the ship is very ubiquitous with other ships, and you can see a lot of other ships follow the same design of long nose, big jets up back with some wings. Yeah, right. That motif is followed through a few times, and I think it just does it really well. So I want to go S tier with that. If you're happy with that,
I'm very happy with that.
Very good. Oh, see, we've come back around to agreement. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, lovely.
We've got a few more Warhammer ships. I'm going to skim past a few of these. So we've got here called a Crimson Hunter, which is just the good guy Eldars. It looks a lot the same as the last.
It's very similar.
So I don't really want to dwell on it too hard.
It looks more like a fighter, though. The other one looked like a bomber. It had more size, more girth.
Here's a bigger one.
But I do like... I think I prefer this design. It's simpler.
It's less spiky. Yeah. You can tell one's the dark guys and one's the good guys, right?
It's less spiky... But it's having those fins that stick up as well gives it a little bit more of a, I don't know, aerodynamic feel. Yeah.
It feels in the other. I'm going to put it in B tier with the last one, and we can skim over that. The next ship, which I've got opinions on, I think you're going to disagree with, is the ETA-2 Actis Class Interceptor from Star Wars. Now that's in Episode 3, the Jedi's ship, the Jedi. Transport.
Yeah, it's like the kind of story within it is that it's evolving closer to being like a TIE fighter, because the original.
I've never thought of it that way. It does. Yeah, you're right. It does kind of have a bit of that.
I mean, look at the front nose of the bubble thing.
It's
got the same language, and then you got the they fold out in this, but there's those.
You're starting to get the side panel-y kind of things. No, I kind of see it. I don't know if that's intentional, but I can see it.
You know, the previous Jedi ships were more like a
dark thing, weren't they? Yeah. I like this one, and I think it's so interesting how the context with which you see the ship makes it cooler, but how Episode 3 starts when it's just a very calm planet, and then you see a couple ships, and then you kind of tilt down just ever so slightly. And there's like a whole space battle going on, and there's like fleets of ships going absolutely crazy.
It is insane, and then it's a great introduction to
that film. Yeah, I think it's so good. And then because it just starts, and then you dive in, and then it's just carnage, and everything's just going off, and you have Anakin and Obi-Wan in their respective ships, just going around, and you got all these X-wings, all the other people doing their stuff, and they've clearly got their special Jedi ships. But we also see Obi-Wan use this ship to get to the water planet. I forget its name.
Geonosis.
Geonosis, because he has the ring thing, right? He locks into the ring.
No, that's one of the earlier starfighters. That's a Jedi starfighter.
No, I think it's one of these because it clips on the front and it goes boom, and then unclips. I thought it was one of these. Oh, you're going to correct me because I was going to talk about how I think that's really cool, but it feels like it can do more than just be a fighter.
Yeah, hold on. There is one.
Oh, he's done the research.
Hold on. AliExpress news.
You use AliExpress as
What? I don't think it features in the film, but somebody's created one with that ship.
I think it does have it. I'm going to go with headcanon. I don't care what you say.
Headcanon, yeah. Delusional.
Delusion.
But if I show you the official Lego set version rather than the AliExpress one.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Oh gosh, Tom might have to pause the podcast quickly whilst we fact check ourselves.
What did you call it? Say it was called the ET.
Let me get up. The ETA-2 Actis. Coming back, we finished our research, and this will be the last ship of this section of the podcast. It's not the ship I thought it was. I was completely wrong, but I still like the ship. Mark, your thoughts?
I love the ship. I think you talking about that opening scene, it is absolutely the case. I like the fact that it's got in the real world. I keep saying real world, but in the film world, there is a narrative to it. There is this evolution from the earlier Jedi starfighters to this thing that is, coming towards a TIE fighter, and the Empire is starting to rear its ugly head through it, which is great. But at the same time, it's still. You've got both Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting and them having they seem to be enjoying themselves.
It's a good scene, yeah. It's very nimble. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's an A-tier ship, personally.
I think A. Yeah,
A.
It's not S.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it can't be S. It's not iconic enough. People
it's
don't
not iconic enough.
Think
it hasn't got that profile that I like.
That's fair enough. Which seems to be vertical, rather than any kind of horizontal-bodied ship.
It's a good ship.
Fair enough. Well, we'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there for this section because
and then we'll come back
halfway through.
Halfway through this, we thought this would take so much less time. I guess even if we spent 10 minutes on each, it's 280 minutes. But we'll see you next time, and we'll do another brief intro of the week, and then we'll get to the second set.
Of 1A.
1A, yeah.
This is... Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Peace out.